Now let's get to the highlights from today's campaigns. We start with the Prime Minister himself, Narendra Modi. In Uttar Pradesh, he chose to speak about India's growing stature abroad. On Thursday, the Prime Minister was given the UAE's highest civilian honour, the Zayed Medal. He dedicated the award to the people of India.
आज आपके सामने शीश झुकाते हुए मुझे इस बात का भी गर्व है कि इन 5 सालों में मैंने देश का सिर झुकने नहीं दिया। पूरी दुनिया में देश की साख आज जितनी ऊंची है उतनी कभी पहले नहीं रही।
Do domestic votes increase with increasing international stature? We'll find out next month, as will Mr. Modi. He was quick to switch to local issues. The Prime Minister targeted the SP-BSP alliance, accusing them of being soft on terror. He has upped the ante against the opposition leaders, especially those who demanded proof after the Balakot strikes.
आतंकियों को उन्हीं की भाषा में जवाब देना हमारे देश में ही कुछ लोगों को परेशान करता है। उनकी रात की नींद उड़ जाती है। जब भारत डंके की चोट पर दुश्मन को मारता है, तब कुछ लोगों को हिंदुस्तान में रोना आता है। जब पाकिस्तान पूरी दुनिया के सामने बेनकाब हो रहा है, तो ये पाकिस्तान के पक्ष की बातें कर रहे हैं।
In Saharanpur, the Prime Minister trained his guns on the Congress party. He had a special reason for that. The Congress has fielded Imran Masood from Saharanpur. In 2014, a video of Mr. Masood went viral where he had threatened to chop Mr. Modi into pieces. These remarks had even led to his arrest, and today the Prime Minister revisited that episode. He launched a sharp attack against Imran Masood and his party president Rahul Gandhi.
यहाँ तो बोटी बोटी करने वाले साहब भी हैं और कांग्रेस के शहजादा के बड़े चहेते हैं। उन पर उनका जरा बड़ा ज्यादा ही प्यार आता है। याद रखिएगा, वो बोटी बोटी की धमकी देने वाले लोग हैं और हम बेटी बेटी को सुरक्षा और सम्मान देने वाले लोग।
Several kilometers away from Uttar Pradesh, Rahul Gandhi seemed unperturbed. He was in Maharashtra interacting with students in Pune. Rahul Gandhi was asked about Narendra Modi. The Congress president said he loves Narendra Modi.
I love Mr. Narendra Modi. No, I do. I genuinely have no hatred towards the man at all.
Viral ho gaya.
I have no anger.
Simmer down, he's saying something, yes.
I have no anger. But I have no anger towards or hatred towards Mr. Narendra Modi. He has anger towards me. It's fine, no problem. I have no anger towards the man.
So first the hug in Parliament and now this. Rahul Gandhi's one-sided love for the Prime Minister was cheered on by many students, as you heard. But not everyone was impressed. Some heckled the Congress president. To his credit, Rahul Gandhi took it in his stride. Then demonetization came up and Mr. Gandhi changed his tune. No more professing love for the Prime Minister. He was critical and categorical. Only his minimum income scheme, he said, would jumpstart economic activity in India.
Fortunately, Notebandi or demonetization was a disastrous idea. Taking 500 rupees and 1,000 rupees and just removing them from the economy. You can ask any economist you want, that's a disaster. And it had a terrible effect on the economy. 2% of GDP was lost. Millions of jobs were lost, and the economy jammed shut. Once we do the Nyay scheme and we pump money into the economy will start, production will start, and you will see that jobs will start up again. But the sad part is that demonetization, frankly, nothing can be done. It's like a injury that we have sustained and we are going to have to carry with us.
It happens before every election. Skeletons have this habit of tumbling out. Ask the Congress party. It may be dealing with one of its worst, the Augusta Westland scam. The one involving VVIP choppers, kickbacks, dubious money trails, and a certain political family with an Italian lady. It's all on record. Here's the latest. A charge sheet has mysteriously surfaced. It has damaging details about the investigation. Needless to say, it has triggered a storm. The facts first. The Enforcement Directorate is investigating this case. It has told a special court in Delhi that defense officials, bureaucrats, media persons and quote-unquote important political persons of the ruling party received kickbacks. Meaning, these were the people involved in corruption. Which was the ruling party? The UPA, led by the Congress party. The deal was done by the UPA government. The case is a bit of a political potboiler now, and the protagonist is this man, Christian Michel. He was the middleman, the broker of the deal. He is said to have identified top members of the Congress party to push this deal through. Last year, India finally got hold of him. India managed to secure the deportation of Christian Michel. He is now one of the main accused in this case. He used to send dispatches to his bosses in 2008 and 2009. The investigators have got their hands on those dispatches, which have some big names in them, names of Congress leaders whom Christian Michel was in touch with. Now let's tell you what the charge sheet says. It claims that one Mrs. Gandhi was the driving force behind the deal. It mentions about a meeting with a quote-unquote an Italian lady's son. The investigators also say that Michel identified the initials AP as Congress leader Ahmed Patel. He said FAM in his notes, which stand for family. You can join the dots. It's not hard to guess who are the people he's talking about. And here's a twist in the plot. The lawyers of Christian Michel told the court today that they were not given this copy of the charge sheet. They say that Christian Michel has not named any member of the Congress party during any interrogation with the investigators. So where did this charge sheet come from? No one's answering this, least of all the BJP. They have got fresh ammunition in election season, and firing from the front is the Prime Minister himself.
हेलीकॉप्टर घोटाले के दलालों ने जिन लोगों को घूस देने की बात कही है, उनमें से एक एपी है, एपी, और दूसरा FAM है, फेम। इसी चार्जशीट में कहा गया है कि एपी का मतलब है अहमद पटेल और FAM का मतलब है फैमिली। अब आप मुझे बताइए, आप तो अहमद पटेल का नाम सुना है ना, जानते हो ना, यहां जो पहले मुख्यमंत्री थी उनके खासम खास है।
So here's the question. How damaging is this case for the Congress? How much will it help the BJP? Do scams like Augusta Westland have any impact on elections? The government seems to be counting on it. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says the Congress is hiding something. The past shows that corruption can be an emotive poll issue. Why go far? Look at 2014. Corruption, scams, black money, these were the terms that ruled the discourse. The Congress government was tainted by several scams. There was widespread anger against the UPA. It fueled the BJP's campaign. It gave birth to new players like the Anna Hazare campaign. And the Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party, they in fact used corruption as their political springboard. The anger against the Congress led to the rise of Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi. After the agitation for a Lokpal at the Ramleela grounds, the Aam Aadmi Party won power twice in the national capital. Their claim to political fame was the promise to end corruption at all levels, including electoral finance and street-level bureaucracy. The BJP rode on the wave of anti-corruption sentiment. Modi's most famous slogan, "Na khaunga, na khane dunga," still resonates among the voters. He also promised to bring back black money stashed in tax havens abroad. The messaging against corruption is still central to Mr. Modi's campaign. He still uses old scams to target the Gandhi family. History shows us that the issue of corruption can make or break political fortunes. Take the case of the Bofors deal. Allegations of corruption hit the Rajiv Gandhi-led government so hard that they lost more than 200 seats in the 1989 election. Back then, it was the Janata Dal that gained. What emboldens the Prime Minister further is the clean record of his government. No minister from the BJP government has been charged with corruption in the last 5 years. The opposition has tried to whip up the Rafale deal, but they haven't been able to show a scam. So is corruption still an issue in this election? Yes, it is. Will the Congress be able to shake off the baggage of corruption? Most likely not.